Yogurt is often called one of the healthiest foods on earth. Doctors recommend it. Nutritionists praise it. Health blogs label it a superfood. It's known for probiotics that support digestion, boost immunity, calm inflammation, and even improve skin health. For decades, people have been told, if you want a healthy gut, eat yogurt. And that advice is not wrong, but it is incomplete. Because here is the truth most people never hear. Yogurt can become harmful when eaten with the wrong foods. Not immediately, not dramatically, but quietly, silently. Over time, certain food combinations don't just cancel yogurt's benefits. They actively destroy beneficial gut bacteria, disrupt digestion, and trigger low-grade inflammation that slowly spreads through the body. And the most dangerous part? You may not feel the damage right away. Instead, the symptoms creep in gradually. Bloating that never seems to go away. Brain fog that makes it harder to think clearly. Skin problems that don't respond to creams or treatments. Joint stiffness you blame on aging. Chronic fatigue that no amount of sleep fixes. Most people assume these problems are just normal. Normal aging. Normal stress. Normal life. But in many cases, they're not. They are signs of gut imbalance. And for millions of people, that imbalance starts with how yogurt is combined with other foods. Here's what's rarely explained. Yogurt is alive. It contains living bacteria that must survive digestion to help you. But when yogurt is eaten with certain ingredients, those bacteria die before they can do their job. Instead of healing your gut, the wrong combinations cause internal fermentation, excess gas and acid, damage to the intestinal lining, increased inflammation throughout the body. Over months or years, this can weaken immunity, slow metabolism, and even affect mental clarity and mood. And this is especially important if you're over 40 or 50. That means acidic and protein-heavy combinations are far harder to process. This is why many older adults experience persistent bloating, reflux that wasn't present earlier in life, nausea after healthy meals, fatigue shortly after eating. Ironically, they're often eating yogurt to help digestion, while unknowingly making it worse. Citrus fruits also increase stomach acidity. When that acidity mixes with lactose in yogurt, it can trigger acid reflux and heartburn, conditions already common in older adults. Over months or years, repeated irritation weakens the gut barrier. This allows partially digested food particles to pass into the bloodstream, triggering immune reactions, inflammation, and even skin flare-ups. The solution isn't to avoid yogurt or citrus fruits altogether. It's about timing and separation. If you enjoy citrus fruits, eat them at least 1 hour before or 1 hour after yogurt, never together. This gives your stomach time to process each food properly, without conflict. When eaten separately, both foods can still be beneficial. If you want a healthier yogurt pairing, choose non-acidic fruits. Examples include bananas, apples, pears, oats. These foods digest at a compatible pace and actually support probiotic survival. Instead of fermentation and irritation, they encourage smoother digestion, better bowel movements, and less bloating throughout the day. This small change can make a surprisingly large difference. You'll feel lighter after meals. Your stomach will feel calmer, and your energy levels will remain more stable. Remember, health is not just about what you eat. It's about how foods interact inside your body. And when you understand those interactions, you give your gut the respect it deserves. Now, let's move on to number 2, another combination that silently damages gut health more than most people realize. Oranges, grapefruits, pineapple, lemons. These fruits are widely considered symbols of health. They're bright, refreshing, packed with vitamin C, often recommended for immunity and energy. That's exactly why so many people mix them with yogurt. Fruit and yogurt parfaits, morning smoothies, light breakfasts, post-exercise snacks. They're marketed everywhere as clean eating, gut-friendly, and doctor-approved. But when it comes to digestion, this combination is far more harmful than most people realize. From a biological and digestive perspective, yogurt and citrus fruits work against each other, not together. Let's break this down clearly. Yogurt contains live probiotic bacteria, beneficial microorganisms that help maintain balance in your gut. These bacteria support digestion, strengthen immunity, reduce inflammation, and help protect the intestinal lining. But probiotics are delicate. They need a relatively neutral digestive environment to survive the journey through your stomach and reach your intestines, where they do their real work. Citrus fruits, on the other hand, are highly acidic. Oranges, lemons, pineapples, and grapefruits significantly increase stomach acidity the moment they are eaten. When you combine citrus fruits with yogurt, that acidity directly attacks the probiotic bacteria. Many of those beneficial microbes die before they ever reach your intestines. So instead of nourishing your gut, the yogurt loses much of its purpose. But the damage doesn't stop there. Citrus acids also react chemically with the milk proteins in yogurt. This reaction causes the yogurt to curdle inside the stomach, a process similar to what happens when milk spoils. This curdling slows digestion and creates internal fermentation. And fermentation in the stomach, rather than in the intestines, leads to discomfort. Common symptoms include gas, bloating, heaviness after eating, indigestion, acid reflux, burning sensations in the chest. Many people experience these symptoms regularly and never suspect their healthy breakfast is the cause. They assume it's normal. They assume it's age. They assume it's stress. In reality, it's often the food combination. When this pairing is consumed repeatedly, day after day, the effects compound. Internal fermentation irritates the stomach and intestinal lining. That irritation promotes chronic low-grade inflammation. Over time, nutrient absorption weakens. Your body may be eating healthy food, but not absorbing it properly. This is especially concerning for adults over 60. As we age, digestion naturally changes. The body produces less stomach acid, fewer digestive enzymes, slower gut movement. That makes conflicting food combinations far harder to handle. This is why many older adults experience persistent bloating, reflux that appears later in life, nausea after meals, fatigue shortly after eating, a sense of heaviness that lasts for hours. Ironically, yogurt is often eaten to help digestion, yet when paired with citrus, it can quietly make digestion worse. Citrus fruits also increase stomach acidity overall. When combined with lactose in yogurt, this can worsen acid reflux, heartburn, and throat irritation, conditions already common in older adults. Repeated irritation weakens the protective barrier of the gut. When that barrier weakens, partially digested food particles can slip into the bloodstream, triggering immune reactions, inflammation, and sometimes skin issues. The solution is not to fear yogurt, and it's not to eliminate citrus fruits forever. The key is separation and timing. If you enjoy citrus fruits, eat them at least 1 hour before or 1 hour after yogurt, never at the same time. This gives your digestive system time to process each food properly, without chemical conflict. When eaten separately, both yogurt and citrus fruits can still be beneficial. If you want to pair yogurt with fruit, choose non-acidic options that work in harmony with probiotics. Better choices include banana, apple, pear, oats. These foods digest more slowly, support probiotic survival, and reduce fermentation. Instead of bloating and discomfort, they promote smoother digestion, calmer stomach activity, better bowel regularity, more stable energy levels. This is a small adjustment, but one that can create noticeable improvements in how you feel every day. Because real gut health isn't just about eating healthy foods. It's about understanding how foods interact inside your body. And when you respect those interactions, your digestion becomes calmer, stronger, and more resilient over time. Now, let's move on to number 2. Another combination that quietly damages gut health far more than most people expect: bacon, sausages, ham, deli meats. These foods are deeply woven into daily routines, especially at breakfast. Many people eat yogurt in the morning, believing it supports digestion and balances heavier foods. A yogurt cup on the side, a breakfast plate with bacon or sausage, a sandwich with deli meat, and a yogurt snack. On the surface, this seems reasonable. In reality, this combination is one of the most damaging pairings for your gut microbiome. Here's why. Yogurt contains live probiotic cultures, beneficial bacteria that help maintain balance in your digestive system. These bacteria support digestion, regulate inflammation, and help protect the gut lining from harmful pathogens. Processed meats do the exact opposite. They are heavily treated foods, designed for long shelf life rather than digestive health. Processed meats contain chemical preservatives, nitrates and nitrites, extremely high sodium levels. When these chemicals enter the digestive system alongside yogurt, they kill live probiotic cultures on contact. So instead of strengthening your gut, the yogurt becomes ineffective. But the damage doesn't end there. During digestion, dairy proteins from yogurt can chemically interact with nitrates found in processed meats. This interaction can lead to the formation of nitrosamines, toxic compounds that have been linked in multiple studies to gut inflammation and increased colon stress. These compounds irritate the intestinal lining and promote an environment where harmful bacteria thrive while beneficial bacteria struggle to survive. For younger individuals, the body may compensate for a time, but for older adults, the risk increases significantly. As we age, the gut lining naturally becomes thinner and more permeable. This means toxins can pass into the bloodstream more easily, a process often referred to as increased intestinal permeability. When processed meat toxins and dead bacterial fragments enter circulation, they can trigger chronic fatigue, joint stiffness and pain, brain fog, and reduced mental clarity, low-grade systemic inflammation. Many people never connect these symptoms to breakfast habits. They assume joint pain is arthritis. They assume brain fog is aging. They assume fatigue is normal. But in many cases, the gut is the starting point. Yogurt is meant to heal and nourish the gut microbiome. Processed meats feed harmful bacteria, increase inflammation, and disrupt microbial balance. When eaten together, yogurt loses its benefit, and the processed meat does its damage unchecked. Over time, this imbalance can affect more than digestion. The gut and brain are closely connected. Long-term gut inflammation has been associated with mood instability, memory challenges, slower cognitive processing. That's why protecting the gut becomes especially important later in life. The solution is not to combine healthy yogurt with unhealthy foods in hopes they cancel each other out. That doesn't work biologically. Instead, choose savory foods that support probiotic survival. Healthier alternatives include boiled or poached eggs, raw or lightly roasted nuts, seeds such as chia or flax, plain oatmeal. These foods digest cleanly, provide steady energy, and allow beneficial bacteria to thrive. When yogurt is paired with supportive foods, it can do what it's meant to do: restore balance, reduce inflammation, and strengthen digestion. But when paired with processed meats, it becomes a silent victim in a much larger problem. Your gut is not designed to handle constant chemical exposure. Think of it like soil. You can't grow healthy plants if you pour chemicals into the ground every day. The same principle applies to your digestive system. Treat it with respect, and it will support your energy, mobility, and clarity for years to come. Now, let's move on to number 3. A combination that surprises many people because both foods are considered healthy on their own, yet cause major digestive distress when eaten together. Onions and garlic are powerful foods. They're praised for supporting immunity, reducing harmful bacteria, lowering inflammation, protecting heart health. For centuries, they've been used as natural medicine, and on their own, they can be very beneficial. But here's the part almost no one talks about. When onions or garlic are eaten with yogurt, especially raw, they can create serious digestive distress. This is one of those combinations where both foods are healthy individually, yet problematic together. Let's explain why. Onions and garlic are high in fructans. Fructans are a type of fermentable carbohydrate that the human body cannot fully digest on its own. Instead, they are broken down by gut bacteria. Yogurt, at the same time, contains lactose, a live probiotic bacteria. When fructans from onions and garlic meet lactose and active bacteria from yogurt, fermentation happens rapidly and aggressively. This fermentation doesn't occur gently in the intestines where it belongs. It often begins too early in the digestive tract. The result is a rapid buildup of gas and pressure. This is why many people experience symptoms such as abdominal pain, cramping, severe bloating, a stretched or tight feeling in the stomach, sudden urgency, or diarrhea. For people with sensitive digestion, this can feel overwhelming. Those with IBS, food sensitivities, or age-related digestive slowdown are especially vulnerable. As we age, digestion naturally becomes less efficient. Enzyme production decreases. Gut movement slows. That means fermentable combinations linger longer in the gut, producing even more gas and discomfort. This explains something many people find confusing. They can eat yogurt alone and feel fine. They can eat onions or garlic alone and feel fine. But when they combine them, the body reacts strongly. They may feel uncomfortable within minutes or hours later. Because it's not the food, it's the interaction. Raw onions and raw garlic are particularly problematic. Cooking breaks down fructans and softens their impact on digestion. But when raw onions or garlic are mixed into yogurt-based sauces, dips, or meals, the digestive system is hit with a double fermentation load. This can overwhelm even a healthy gut. Over time, repeated irritation can lead to increased gut sensitivity, irregular bowel movements, heightened food intolerance, ongoing bloating after meals. Many people start avoiding yogurt altogether, thinking dairy is the problem. In reality, it's the pairing that's causing distress. If you enjoy onions or garlic, the solution is simple. Eat them cooked, not raw, and eat them separately from yogurt. Allow several hours between meals containing yogurt and meals heavy in onions or garlic. When separated, both foods can still offer benefits without causing discomfort. People who make this change often notice a less bloating, more predictable digestion, reduced abdominal pressure, a calmer, more comfortable gut. This is especially important later in life, when digestive resilience is lower and recovery takes longer. Your digestive system prefers harmony, not conflict. When foods are combined wisely, digestion becomes smoother, lighter, and more reliable. Now, let's move on to number 4, a very common pairing that looks harmless, tastes good, and is heavily marketed, yet quietly feeds the worst bacteria in your gut while starving the good ones. This one surprises most people because it feels so normal, so familiar, so harmless. Bread, white rice, potatoes, pasta. In many households, Yogurt is eaten alongside starchy meals, or even mixed directly into them. A bowl of rice with yogurt on the side. Flatbread dipped into yogurt sauce. Potatoes served with yogurt-based dressings. Pasta followed by yogurt as a light finish. These habits are deeply ingrained. But biologically, this is one of the most misunderstood combinations for digestion and blood sugar control. Here's why. Starchy carbohydrates digest very quickly. As soon as starches enter the mouth, enzymes begin breaking them down into glucose. That glucose enters the bloodstream rapidly, raising blood sugar levels. Yogurt, however, digests at a different pace. It contains protein, fat, lactose, alive bacteria. These components slow stomach emptying and require longer digestion. When fast-digesting starches are eaten with slower-digesting yogurt, digestion becomes uncoordinated. The stomach holds onto food longer than it should. This mismatch creates several problems. First, delayed stomach emptying. Food sits in the stomach too long, increasing pressure and discomfort. Second, fermentation. As starches linger, they begin fermenting instead of moving smoothly through the digestive tract. Third, gas buildup. Fermentation produces gas, leading to bloating, fullness, and abdominal tightness. Fourth, sluggish digestion. Meals feel heavy. Energy drops. The body feels tired instead of nourished. Many people notice they feel sleepy or foggy after meals like this and assume it's just a big meal. In reality, it's digestive inefficiency. Over time, repeated exposure to this mismatch has deeper consequences. Frequent starch and yogurt combinations can contribute to chronic gut imbalance, increased inflammation, poor blood sugar control. This is especially concerning after age 50. As we age, the body becomes less efficient at regulating glucose. Insulin sensitivity naturally declines. The gut microbiome becomes more fragile. When fast carbohydrates and slow-digesting foods are combined repeatedly, blood sugar spikes become more frequent and harder to control. This can lead to energy crashes, increased fat storage, cravings shortly after meals, worsening inflammation. Many people blame aging. They blame metabolism. They blame lack of exercise. But digestion plays a much larger role than most realize. Yogurt is often eaten to balance heavy meals. Unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. Biology doesn't cancel foods out. It reacts to how they interact. When yogurt is paired with starches, it slows digestion in a way that encourages fermentation rather than smooth absorption. The solution is simple but powerful. If you eat starchy carbohydrates, eat yogurt separately, not as part of the same plate, not in the same bowl, not in the same meal. Allow at least 1 to 2 hours between starch-heavy meals and yogurt. When separated, digestion improves dramatically. People who make this change often report a less bloating, more consistent energy, fewer afternoon crashes, improved blood sugar stability. Reduced inflammation. Yogurt can still be beneficial, but only when it's allowed to work on its own terms. Think of digestion like traffic. When slow and fast vehicles are forced into the same lane, everything backs up. When foods are timed correctly, digestion flows smoothly. This final point is one of the most important in the entire video.